You gotta be so good that they can't ignore you, especially the ones that ain't done shit for you. Yeah, you know exactly what I mean. They stab you in the back and then they ask why you're bleeding. I don't trust words, I trust actions. I don't care what you heard, I'm not slacking.
How's everybody doing? Welcome to a very special episode of the In My Opinion Course podcast. My motherfucker, Jeff McCool. You guys will know him best from Moccasin Creek. If you are a fan of my videos in any way, he is the intro music to every video I have. I believe I had like some sort of like free YouTube shit for the first 2 videos or something like that. But besides that, Jeff is the founder of the band that it's probably my favorite band ever. Not to mention the song "Get Away," which is the song for my intro music, in case you're wondering, is pretty much the model that we set up our businesses over. Like, be so good you can't ignore you. So many lines in that song I just love because I like one of the lines I use all the time is when somebody thinks of me is really none of my fucking business. I love that.
That's true. It takes a long time to get to that point.
It does. And also, my lovely wife, Crystal,
Hello.
who is going to be in on all the podcasts from now on. We decided we're going to do the podcast together because she's nice and smart, and I'm not those things. So,
A lot better looking than we are.
So Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your story. And like, how did it all start way back when you started getting into music and all that?
Man.
The story about how you started was fucking funny.
Yeah, it is funny. I mean, I didn't even start music until I was in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know I had a passion for it. I played ball in college, played a couple years professionally. Lucky enough to do that. Went back to my small town in Florida, coached and taught school. School system wasn't for me. Got out, got into sales. Drunken karaoke night. Was doing some Beastie Boys and started freestyling some shit, and some guy asked me if I'd ever heard of Colt Ford. This was when Colt and the whole country rap thing had just started, and I said no. He took me out to his truck, said check this out. I said he's singing the same. I can do that. He's singing the same shit I am. I want to do that. Not that I could. It took a long time to get to the point where I could get that way, but I have an athletic background, and obviously the music is taken me out of my athletic build and daily routine over the years, and with that I developed a lot of issues. I mean, I got diagnosed bipolar and manic when I was about 20, so I've been doing that for about 20 something years, and I found out that every time I was physically at my worst was when I was also mentally at my worst. Mm-hmm. And
there's a great correlation.
You guys know, because we've talked about it a lot. I was just at a point where if I didn't do something, I wasn't going to be here much longer, and physically or mentally, So wanted to put the two together, and God, I've talked about it for a year and a half, and like I've told everybody, I hate to be cliche and use a Nike quote. You just have to do it. You know.
The first step, I think, is the hardest, especially when you're going for like the distance traveled, like the distance you need to travel from getting to a very unhealthy state to getting back to even feeling good. I think is farther in people's head. Like, 'cause you've been here, just so everybody knows, he's been here for a little less than a week now.
Yeah, a week tomorrow or something like that. Yeah, a week tomorrow.
Yeah. And
no, Monday.
Monday, yeah. With days run together for our
Yeah, I didn't even know today was Saturday.
Yeah, I often don't know what the fuck day it is. She has to tell me.
When you told me I had an extra hour to sleep before the gym today, I was like, yeah, Saturday.
That's how I know that shit. But you've already seen, even just starting to get physically active, and you probably lost about 10 pounds. You have some fat, some water weight, because we talked about the gym. He's probably got like a 2,000 calorie swing going on from what he had before. So you probably you probably 10,000 calorie deficit, probably lost about 3 pounds of fat at least.
Yeah, and that's the thing we have talked about several times off camera. It's like, obviously I want to look better for me, for my wife, for my fans, whatever. But the fact of the matter is just, I was leisurely getting into it over the last month or so, just preparing myself for this, and just to get the endorphins moving and get things out. Like, I've noticed that my anxiety's not there. The things I knew would come from it, but it was just a matter of starting. And I know that everybody doesn't have the actual ability to, pack up and drive 800 miles to somewhere to get that kickstart. So everybody's got to find what it is within them that's going to make them start.
Yeah.
I've told you for the last 2 years, I'm starting tomorrow. I'm doing this tomorrow. probably to the point where you're like, all right, dude, whenever you're for real, fucking call me. And it's just like,
I don't agree with that. Like you've first of all, people do need to start when they're ready, especially, and this is very true. People harp on me all the time about this because I'm so against the fat acceptance community and blah blah blah. When it's a mental health status thing, especially when there's actual chemical imbalances, like you're bipolar, that's chemically managed. You know, that's not slight depression. That's not anything like that. That's an actual physiological thing that happens. You know,
right.
And I'd see your weight go up and down, and we've talked about, her and I had talked about it before. Because dude, like, we're forever indebted to you. Like,
I don't know. You keep saying that. I don't know why.
Well, here's the thing.
You've been there just for me, just as much.
And I want everybody to understand. Like, the way I look at it is this: Jeff and his wife Daphne and their whole crew did for us when there was absolutely nothing in it for them. And that's the type of people that I like to support. That's the type of people that have supported me. Jeff Cavalier, Elgin, Steve Shaw, a bunch of people when there was nothing in it for them, reached their hand out and said, "Sure, I'll help you," just because I asked. And to me, that is a forever debt. And besides that, even before that happened, we were big fans. We've seen you live. I'd helped with some online investigations for a few things. You had gone for some crazy fans.
Forgot about that.
And to me, I'll always help a friend, and we obviously are.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. I appreciate the shit out of it.
But I would see your weight go up and down, and you would be in contact for a while, and then I could see it fall off, and I'd be like, we didn't have the rapport yet enough for me to be like, motherfucker, you're doing this now.
It's funny you said that too, and I think a lot of people that actually understand, and I hate throwing the term around because so many people just overuse. Everybody's got some sort of diagnosis now.
Yeah.
And it's aggravating to know that and don't get me wrong, because I know there's millions that suffer from shit, right? And so I think a big thing is, and this is one of the biggest things I'm trying to implement, is to get my story out for the ones that do suffer and realize that this is not only great for, the physical aspect plays such a role in your mental aspect, and to respect the fact that you, my sister, my wife, and a couple of people that I'm close with that are fitness knowledgeable, they didn't press it either because they knew I wasn't mentally stable, and that's not a good place to be.
Yeah. I was afraid if Chris and I pushed you, we would just push you farther away.
Right, and it's easy to for people like us to allow that to happen. But also, luckily enough, I have the background, to know what I used to do, what I can do. I come from a very active, athletic family, so I've always had the focus, I've always tried to focus on me. But then when it got to focusing on me for the wrong reasons, it just made it all worse. I was focused and trying to impress people with music, or I had to write this particular song. I got so mentally out of whack with trying to impress other people. Well, I was, that I failed to take care of me anymore. And it's just, there's just a point, and I don't know how to tell people, you're at your point, you got to do it now, because that's not for me to say. I'm not a doctor.
Right.
I don't know exactly where you stand, but I can and I hate to say it, I know for a fact that if I can do it, you can. And people hear that saying all the fucking time. Yeah. But if I can do it, you can, because I was that far out and gone, and I still have terrible days. Yeah. But they're so much easier to deal with.
Well, you say you woke up this morning anxious.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that might have been just because my mind's adjusting to something. It's new, but it's just adjusting to it for the first time in a decade.
Well, one of the things, and me and you hadn't even really talked about this, but in the weeks leading up, because we had this plan for a couple weeks, and it got put on hold till after Easter and stuff like that. But one of the things you kept saying to me is, I can tell you were just nervous as fuck.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. And I'm thinking well, first of all, I'm not anything to be nervous about. She's not. She's more than me.
Yeah,
people don't understand. It's because, dude.
Well, I'd actually use the same words with my wife. I was super nervous about it. It wasn't nervous about anything to do with us, rapport, friendship, anything. It was more nervous of how much pressure I put on myself, thinking I'm going to just let myself down again. I'm going to let myself down. Then, when you finally get somebody that holds you accountable, the whole saying is, 21 days and it's a habit. Mm-hmm. It's the fucking truth, man. Yeah. It's like, I'm candid and open about it. It took me years to be open about this type of stuff, but it's a therapy for me and it helps other people. But, I was a pretty bad drug addict. Mm-hmm. But when I said no, 21 days, that's it. That's all it took. Never did it again. And I'm done. Same thing with exercise. Same thing with anything. You can create the habits. It's just a matter of getting started.
Yeah. I mean, you've done a good job, too. I mean, I've watched you even just from the first, because we worked out every day. So the first day you started, you walked, I think, like 3 miles or 4 miles or something like that. Mm-hmm. And we worked out real light and everything like that. Because I knew you were going to be, like, I got the impression, you were worried, like, you're going to be barely able to fucking move most of the day. So, but that's, to me, like, we focus a lot on injury prevention because the worst thing that can happen to you right now is catch an injury. Soreness is one thing. Being really fucking sore, get your ass the fuck up.
Not to cut you off, or I am cutting you off, to apologize for cutting you off. That's one thing that I think that a lot of people, if I can speak to your audience and mine as well, if you are out of shape and you're overweight and you're big and you have to do something, it is scary. It's there's an embarrassment factor. There's so many things, and you just got to find that one thing to block out and realize you're doing this for you. Yeah. Find you an environment like where we've been working out. It's been amazing. No judgment. No nothing. Hey, here's the thing: when you go into a gym, 90% of the motherfuckers in a gym are fat asses. You don't see everybody walking around ripped and in great shape. There are people that are trying to take that step, trying to get toward it. Go in and be one of them until you're that guy walking around. You know what I mean? It is. It's such a mental block. But that's why I want to tell the people that are heavy or out of shape, that have the anxiety or whatever. You have no idea how much it changes your mental aspect to feel better. And I've told you several times, I don't care if I'm 240 or 340. If I'm, walking 10 miles a day and I feel great and I don't breathe hard anymore, it's about the feel. It happens so quick. And I mean, you, like I said, you probably already dropped 10 pounds since you've been here. Some of it water weight. I mean, the caloric deficit you're in is huge. Oh, absolutely.
And you're eating. We basically have you eating very idealized food. Like you're getting your omega-3, omega-6 fatty acids. You're getting your protein, very minimal carbs. And that's about it. So it is small, and probably when you go home, we're going to have you increase that just a little bit because we're going to make sure it's sustainable.
Right.
But the way to kickstart it was just great. You've been like you walked 10 miles yesterday, all on his own. No shit. Like I mean, like that's the thing. Like once you get started on it, it's a different story. And you do have a lifestyle that most can't get.
Right.
But very realistically, you can still progress yourself day after day after day.
Well, people like us, and that's why I really want to direct this to the people that have any sort of mental deal. It's fun. We find we find little things that push us, and the funniest thing is it's been my watch. Mm-hmm. You see how often I look at my watch. Where am I now? If you can get a relationship with something that pushes you, it doesn't have to be another person. It doesn't have to be you. Mm-hmm. It's just a little electronic that says, you've been sitting, time to stand up.
Yeah, I love.
You're only at 6 miles. You need, it's helped me immensely. So I've got a game with myself now. I'm competing with myself. I'm competing with this watch to get to a point to where I want to be. And then once I'm at that point for a while, let's up it again. There's so much good that comes from this other than looking better.
Yeah.
And to touch on that's one thing. A lot of people go in with they're so scared of the eating habits. They're so scared of what I'm not going to be hungry, or carbs, I'm not going to have energy. Bullshit. Look, the food's good. You get to eat. The portions are fine. I've had more energy in the last 5 days with literally maybe 10 to 25 grams of carbs a day.
Yeah, well, probably about 25 to 30, but still,
not many.
Very low, yeah.
As opposed to 160, 180, a day.
And it's not ketogenic before any of you guys freak out, but it is. I mean, we're basically having him eat just a bare minimum of what he needs to eat to function. You know what I mean? Like that, and that's.
And what was it? 3 days before I've already felt the shrink because I ate one roll of sushi last night. It was full as a tick. Yeah. I don't. That's not me normally, and it's because for the first time in a decade, I've got metabolism.
Yeah.
You know, I've got.
And by the way, if you're wondering, I ate
another-
more than one roll. I don't eat one roll sushi.
Yeah, I did have some mushrooms too.
Yeah, some legal mushrooms.
Sauteed.
Yeah, sauteed legal mushrooms.
Sauteed.
But Crystal, you've been helping him out with some movement, some mobility stuff too. You want to touch on that?
So day one, we just really started with child's pose, just to get him used to getting down on the floor again. And the starting position, where we start with yoga when you're getting back into it, or if you've never started before, it depends on the individual. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't start with child's pose for everyone. It depends on the person. But we had talked to Jeff a lot about getting used to being able to get back down on the floor and back up again. So I felt like it was a really great place for him to start, and it's a relaxation pose. So once you get down there, you can just on the floor, you can really just let go and relax and
fall asleep.
Focus on breath. And those are the things that I wanted him to really focus on day one, and then we kind of progressed from there.
What's amazing, to a lot of to my audience, a lot of Jeff's, I want you to think of the last time you just got on the ground.
Do we have any questions?
Just last time you just got on the ground. Like most people that don't do yoga or something like that, even a lot of people that work out a lot, don't actually just sit on the ground. They don't ever lay down on the ground. They don't ever get down, and it's it means you're not even if you don't do yoga, you're not stretching out or anything like that. It's so vitally important. And I say this all the time in a lot of my videos. If you can't get your ass onto the ground and stand yourself back up readily in your 40s. By the time you're 60, you are going to be in a home. Mm-hmm. Like somebody's going to be wiping your ass for you. Yeah, a home or a hole. Somebody's going to be wiping your ass for you, because if you can't functionally get yourself up and down off the ground, you are a fall risk technically, and you will eventually take a fall, hurt yourself, and not be able to get back up. So getting up and down is just super, super, super important.
Well, it's first one. In every question that comes in, it's crazy. I think the answer is going to be so simple and close to the first one was, any tips for us really overweight guys? I was 404 pounds this time last year.
Yep.
I'm 6'4". I'm a little bit bigger dude, whatever, but extremely overweight, extremely big. I was a Division I and professional quarterback, and now I walk around looking like a washed up lineman. That was tough. When I got to that point, I was like, okay, need to do something. But again, you just have to do it. You just have to start. Be active. I don't care if it's terrible when they say baby steps. One day, it's true. When I first started, I'd walk about 3 minutes, and then I'd stop. I'd come home. That was my exercise. I got to 6 minutes. Then I got to 8.
Right.
Then I started playing a little golf. I mean, you can find a hobby, find something that just gets you out of the sedentary world. You have to get out of. And I was telling Alan, when I got off the road last year in November, I got off to take a break and to get in shape. Waited 6 months.
Yeah.
Same thing, same deal, over and over. From January until about 4 weeks ago, I got out of my recliner maybe a total of an hour a day.
Yeah.
And
that'll do it.
It kills you.
And you don't even need if you have that low of activity, you do not even actually need to eat much.
No.
To still be gaining weight.
And I wasn't, and that was the thing. I wasn't eating much. Thought, oh, okay, because I'm eating grilled chicken or I'm eating fish tonight. It's cool. You're sitting there, bro.
Yeah, when there's no activity, I mean, you're still going to put on weight. You almost can't eat low enough when you're not moving. You really can't. That's when you need like a clinically supervised 1,200 a day calorie diet and stuff like that. That's when that's fucking crazy. But one of the things you're doing right now, and he's actually exceeding our expectations right now, where he has a setting on his watch that reminds him if he sits down for more than 3 or 4 minutes at a time, it reminds him to get the fuck back up.
Actually, it's 30 minutes.
Is it 30?
But I haven't hit that in a while. That's what I'm saying. It hasn't had to tell me that. Because I was sitting and I'd watch an hour of one of my Netflix shows. Yeah. And instead of getting up, I'd go
30 or 40. I don't know why I said 3.
No, because it needs to be about 5, for sure. No more than that,
But you've been doing a lot of, even if it's just standing.
Absolutely.
One of the things I've talked to his wife about, I've talked to him about when he gets back, because Jeff does a lot of, just like, people don't realize, even though you're an artist and everything like that, people don't realize, I think about this, about us too. I spend so much time in front of a fucking computer.
Oh, day.
Social media and shit like that. You spend so much time in front of a computer. I stand up to do most of my computer
Right.
shit, and that's what we're going to have you do.
Yeah.
Because standing, while it doesn't burn a whole lot more calories than sitting, it still burns more
Let me tell
calories.
you, that's a big thing too, man. And the way this technology world's taking over shit, all you gamers, stand the fuck up and play.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even be more active. Oh, I got him instead of laying on the, it's just the little things, man. Stand.
Well, even sitting, like,
Move.
from a yoga perspective, sitting down is not actually.
If you got the right posture and shit.
Well, that's not even that healthy, right?
It's not that great for
Oh,
you.
yeah,
That-
I was going to say, I thought you were saying
pressure
it's okay.
that you're putting on your spine and stuff, it's really not that great for you. It's better to be in a really low squat than to
for
be
sure.
sitting down on the floor.
Yeah.
And in a seated position or in a chair or wherever position for very long.
And one thing I have to say this, because I know you guys get it. You're in the fitness world. Nothing makes me more pissed off when I just don't have time. Bullshit. You had time to write that message.
Yeah.
That was time to get up and walk around your house and
That's
sit down for
exactly.
a second. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like excuses. They're so easy. As we get older, as we get bigger, it's a lot easier because it's that much tougher at this age to do things.
Well, I mean, because I'm going to be 48 this summer. Like shortly after the Outlaw Fest, the month after the Outlaw Fest, I'm going to be 48. And just so everybody's aware, I'm going to have a little thing where I do my normal. Like I used to squat heavy every birthday, and 2 birthdays ago I tore my groin doing that, so I'm not going to squat heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll box jump 48 inches or something like that for a little fucking show or something like that. But the reason, what separates me the most from most guys my age is that I stay mobile constantly. Like I'd rather lose muscle mass and gain mobility and stay in motion because we don't actually I did a video not so long ago where age doesn't play as big of a factor in metabolism as people think. The reason what happens is people get sedentary in their jobs. Like it's amazing if you watch how a person can go from being like on the front line of their job, they got an entry level job, they're moving around, they're the person that has like, they have to run and get shit, they have to do whatever. The second they move into a managerial role, you're now sitting instead of just your daily activity decreases.
Absolutely.
The thing is, you stay active. If you just stay up and walking, if you just stay moving around, if you spend less time sitting.
I mean, we're such creatures of habit.
Absolutely.
If you just get a routine that is manageable to any extent, you're already ahead of the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because you're gonna continue. It's a habit. Everything we do is fucking habitual.
And the one back to get to the one guy real quick. Tips for us really overweight guys: start watching what you eat, and grab your loved one by the hand and go for a walk.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't run. We jogged across the street today to avoid getting hit by a car because we walked to the gym, and I said that's the last thing I'm going to have you run because when I don't run that much, just to be real. I'll do some sprints occasionally, and I do a lot of jump in and stuff like that. But I'm not going to take the constant pounding and running. I walk on a treadmill. I'll do the
20.
elliptical.
We're not 20 anymore.
Yeah, even if you're big at 20, it's just a pound
Yeah, well,
on
the big
joints.
thing. Yeah, correct.
It's just
correct.
a pound on the joints. And the other question we have, so sorry if this has been asked, but how did you guys meet? We'd only met one time before he came up and stayed with us.
It's true.
And
Fairplay, South Carolina.
yeah, Chris and I, people don't know this, but Chris and I used to live in the fucking backwoods of South Carolina. We lived in Myrtle Beach, which is where we met, and then we lived in the backwoods of South Carolina for a while. And she turned me on, like, Colt Ford was the first country rap thing that I found. And then we ended up going, we saw him, and then we started listening to more and more and more. And right after Colt Ford, I found the song Hick Life. And that's what turned me on to you, Bottleneck and Smoke.
Right.
And we saw you were playing down at Fairplay, South Carolina. We showed up, and it was a fucking trailer. It really was.
That was the paying the dues day.
Yeah, those are the paying the dues days. It was a trailer, and I remember because it was her birthday, and we went and saw the band I wanted.
I remember, I honestly, this is weird, man. I remember walking in and seeing you guys sitting on the very right corner of the bar.
Yep.
Isn't that fucking weird?
I was thick.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Jack.
I was 40 pounds heavier than I am now. Thick. That's the one picture that people always refer to when I refer to myself as 255 was taken like that week.
Oh, you were every bit of 250 for sure.
Yeah, and I had that's when I had like a 20-inch neck and 20-inch arms and shit like that. But anyway, and I remember you had a friend pass that night.
Yep, day. Yeah.
That day.
College roommate.
And I was like, he's not going to remember meeting me. Because you were self-medicating to deal with the stress.
Yeah.
And I remember there was also a really drunk dude there that kept walking up on stage, and Daphne actually asked me Daphne's his wife actually asked me if he steps up on stage again and talks.
You get it because she knew I was going to knock him out if she did.
But when it comes to that sort of thing, when people are dealing with stress and like that, the life on the road, I wanted to talk about how healthy, unhealthy it is, because you're getting ready to go back out on the road, and one of our big goals, like Crystal and I are actually going to go meet them at a couple of their tour dates, because I'm not giving a fuck up. We're not giving a fuck up on you. We're going to make sure that you're squared away, because tour life has got to be some of the most unhealthy fucking...
It is. And I'll go ahead and drop this now, because people that Google me, it's one of the first things that pops up. My sister is married to The Undertaker, the wrestler. He's my brother-in-law. My sister's a 10-year WWE diva, blah, blah, blah. The only reason I bring that up is because of the amount of years and toll and time they spend on the road. Mm-hmm. They're one of my closest outlets to, hey, how do you deal with this? How do you do this? Because people have no idea that, we know how important exercise is. We know how important sleep is. We know how important eating right is. You get none of the above when you're on the road unless you are 10 times more dedicated than not being on the road. Yeah. One thing with me is that I am proud of that I've never had a problem eating right. Because I like food. It doesn't matter. You can throw me down, a greasy double cheeseburger and sit a piece of salmon next to it. I'll choose the salmon all day because I know I don't have a problem with the eating because I like food. No biggie. But you don't have that shit at your fingertips all the time when you're out, doing 180, 220 nights a year on the road. You spend 35 of a 50-hour weekend in a bus or a van or a Jeep or whatever it is.
Your gas stations, grocery stores.
Yeah, grocery stores. And so that's it was a fear of mine going into this, but now it's not now because I've been on the road so much. And I've been able to speak with my sister and brother-in-law so much about how do you do this, I have to do it a little different than most of you guys that are just getting into the health world. I may look at my schedule next week and realize, there's 4 nights next week that I won't be out of the venue till 2 a.m. Okay, so now I need to alter my whole deal. Instead of working out at 6 a.m. this week, I may be working out at 11 a.m. and getting all my caloric, my caloric shit in. I'm gonna have to alter my schedule a lot, which is fine because I take the food I want to eat. I've been blessed enough to be at a point where in my contract they're gonna feed me what the fuck I want. Instead of, hey, we're good with pizza and barbecue. Now it's I need grilled chicken, I need this, I need that, whatever. So the eating part's not the issue. What people fail to realize is how fucking intricate sleep is. Mm-hmm. Rest. Not I'm tired, let me take a 2-hour nap today. Not REM sleep, getting in rejuvenation. And that's a hard thing to do on the road. So the only fear I have is the rest aspect. Yeah. I'll be able to continue eating well. The exercise is fine. And I tell people, you always want to find a partner. Find somebody you can do stuff with. It makes it that much easier, obviously. But being the band leader, it's easy for me to want to do things, and the rest of the guys are going to want to do it too. Yeah. And so to have a couple, 3 guys each day that are going to, go get in a good walk and get in a good lift with me, this, that, and other, that helps immensely. But if you don't have that, it's going to be tough, because it's a crazy ass world, man. It's just late nights. There's just bad shit shoved in your face every turn. Yeah.
Well, it's the part of it is too for musicians. When you say bad shit, there's alcohol. Most of the time, if you're at bars,
alcohol is one of the good things.
Yeah.
Put in
shit, especially if you're at the trailer at Fairplay, South Carolina. There's shit you got to watch out for. Yeah. But because I think I have no worries about with you that because we are very built a lifestyle. I would be amiss if I said never drink a beer. Shit, I'm probably gonna have a whiskey tomorrow. You know what I mean? But you have to make sure it's it's in moderation. The problem with the road lifestyle, especially for like truckers and musicians and stuff like that, it is the compounding of issues. Okay, well, I have to sacrifice what I'm eating here today. Well, the crowd's great, so I'm going to have a beer with them afterwards. Well, okay, I stayed up late to have the crowd. Now I'm going to sleep in. I'm going to miss my workout, and I still got shitty sleep because I had that beer. And then repeat, you know. And then now we're going to drive for 8 hours.
Again, creature of habit.
Right.
It just becomes a habit.
You know, one of the things that makes me really happy for you and Daphne and the rest of your crew is that like you're touring less, because 182. If you're on the road 180, 200 days, 200 days a year. It's very hard to be healthy unless you're a traveling fitness person.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and even then, no shit, it's not fucking easy. Especially because if you don't fly and you drive, driving is fucking
that's the worst
horrible.
thing on the planet.
Yeah.
You're sitting there 10 hours with terrible posture.
Yeah.
You're
Stationary.
Stationary. You can't do shit.
And it's exhausting. If you're the driver, it's exhausting too, because you're still mentally aware. That's why people don't understand. When you drive 300 miles, you're in.
But here's the thing, man. If you're driving a couple 300 miles, that's generally, you know, anything that's a good, more than 4 or 5 hour drive. Find something along the way where you just stop and go walk and see it. You know, I've already planned that for when I head back. I mean, stopping in Cincinnati, playing golf with some of my buddies. We'll get in a workout, get up the next morning. I only got 4 hours home by that time. It's like, we do that a lot on the road, though. Now, we started toward the end of last year, and I quit drinking on the road. I don't drink much at all, anyhow, so that's good. But, you know, we're riding along. We've been in the van 3 or 4 hours, and you see that sign that says scenic overlook an hour or 1 mile. Pull over.
Yeah,
get
pull
out.
over, get out of the car.
Check it out. Just stretch out. You don't have to get out and do a 20-minute brisk walk.
Yeah.
Just move around. Get your shit flowing, man.
Well, her and I, like, because one of the things that she really hates it is traveling under pressure. Like, you know, and that's one thing that we're afforded now. Like, that we weren't when we were first starting Every Damn Day Fitness. When we would like, I was still working a full-time job, so was she. So you only have so much time off. So you have the first year of Athlete X, it was like I left work, I drove that night, I got to Athlete X, sat down with Jeff, went to sleep, woke up, did office work. Like, when you're traveling like that, it's tough. Now, like this year, we're going in a day early. We're probably going to stop like 3 or 4 places, shit like that. Like, if you're going to plan travel, make sure you plan to be able to like get up, walk around, do shit, because it makes it almost impossible, and it's stressful as fuck.
Yeah, and with that, having the time, I mean, you have to make sure that you allot for the time to be able to stop and get out and go for a walk and stuff, because we were always on such a time crunch that we don't have time to stop and walk around. Like, you're in the car until we get there, you know, stop for gas or whatever, but other than that, you're just driving straight through, and I just hate sitting for that long, and the pressure of, like, having to be on such a strict schedule with travel is really hard.
The trips to Florida we would take is like, if you are so stressed, because we drive everywhere. I drive almost everywhere. I hate fucking planes. I fucking hate them.
Well, I mean, I'd take one every day if I could.
See, here's what I don't like. There's always like, I don't get like, if it's just me flying, and now we fly next to each other all the time, but so I'll probably like it more because we're flying for the cruise.
Right.
We'll talk about the dirt rock cruise
That's
in a second.
a fucking haul of you drove.
Yeah, we're driving for the cruise, but we actually might be living down there by then because we're thinking about moving.
That's true.
So, but
that's true.
When I would fly for work, I hated flying because it was always like me and you would sit next to each other. They never sat me next to somebody her size.
Oh yeah, it's always a big bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the same way. Like, well, yeah, I get aggravated with some of that stuff. I had a dude. This is a funny story. We were flying to play Sturgis a few years back, and we flew from like Nashville into Boulder, and then Boulder we took a small plane up to Sturgis, and it was 21 people. We'd basically get on the tarmac, get on. Long story short, there's barely an exit row, and this first person there, and I get in, and I'm like, yeah, dude sitting in the exit row in the first seat's like legit 5'6", 130 pound, mid-50s. I was like, hey man, it's a 35-minute flight. You mind if I can get the leg room, bro? And he's like, well, a 35-minute flight shouldn't bother you then. So I said, okay. I sat behind this dude. First thing he did, he reclines his chair. Nope. He rode at a 190-degree perpendicular angle for that whole flight because I held his fucking chair up the whole time we landed. Just pulled it back one time. Sorry, fast. But you're right, man. You're cramped.
Yeah. That's something that people actually give me shit about because I talk about the FedEx stuff and stuff where The big question is, well, should I have to pay for a second air flight? Listen here, reality. There was times when I was flying, when I was like 250, where I was like, fuck, I should have paid for a second seat. I felt bad, because there's only so much space, and you cannot blame the person sitting next to you who rented the same. It's renting of space on an airplane.
Yeah.
They rented the same space as you for the same dollar, and if you are taking some of their fucking space,
It's messed up.
it's messed up. That's how that is, and that's not to be disrespectful. And if you don't like that, blame the fucking airline
For making those small ass seats.
For making
and
small
they keep
ass-
making them smaller
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
they do.
Hey, it's the same thing at any arena these days too. Any arena, any pro sporting event.
Yeah.
Those chairs, the chair backs, they're just trying to cram as many people in
Yeah.
as they can.
Yeah.
And that's why you see all these jackasses get drunk and fight in the crowd because you got somebody like
They're
this
all
on you the whole
squished in.
time. You're like, bro,
But-
step back.
So we're gonna get to some road life stuff, but some funny tour shit stuff. But first of all, his first show back, by the way, June 14th in Marion, South Carolina. Chris and I are gonna be there.
Yes.
Yeah, we know it. He don't fucking know it. But then again, I don't know shit about where I'm going. She has to tell me. So I just happen to know that. But we're gonna be down there. It's the Outlaw Country Music Fest. It's you, a bunch of fucking people. I mean, like Sarah Ross.
Yeah, I know Sarah's on it. I want to say Hard Target. Ryan will be there. And,
Shotgun Shane.
I have to look at the flyer.
The Moonshine Bandits.
Okay.
I don't know. But
There's a lot of people.
there's a lot of people.
It'll be a
It's
good
a 3-day festival, but it's going to be in Marion, South Carolina, June 14th. And then there's the Dirt Rock Cruise, which we cannot fucking wait for. Crystal and I already have our fucking tickets. It's going to be a blast. It is
Absurd.
It's in March of 2020. And it's you guys, the Lax, Moonshine Bandits. It's going to be a fucking crazy.
I think what's cool about that too is, man, a lot of people have always wanted to go on a cruise that have never been on one, and then you look at it, and understand it's not cheap for a lot of people, especially people that we bust our ass to work every day and go. But look, man, $100 holds a cabin, and then you got a year to pay it off.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really talking, $10, $12 a month.
And the only cabins left, by the way, for this motherfucker are like the less expensive ones because
the balcony one
balcony
sold
are
out
also
in
not-
a week. Yeah,
balcony and ocean view.
Yeah,
right?
ocean view and
yeah.
balcony. You're right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we got a balcony, motherfucker.
We
Not
got-
ours.
We got a captain sleep.
If you've never been on a music cruise, if you like music, a
badass.
music cruise is the best one to go on because it's like a floating water festival. I always say this all the time. Your job is to eat, drink, sleep, fucking have fun. That's your job on a cruise.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
Nah.
so-
They will arrest you on a boat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They will. They will.
They have
They will.
holding rooms. And,
Keep that in mind.
Just keep it in mind, motherfucker.
just, yeah, I don't know how I know that. I'm just telling you. I've been on quite a few of them, but no, man, I'm just super excited for the whole journey and the amount of support I've been getting from your fan base is I'm much appreciative to you for even. But those guys, to our fans, that's the type of shit that keeps me going. And not to sound arrogant I don't know, don't take this out of context. I understand that a lot of people don't have they don't have a fan base. You work a job, you have your family, this, that. So you don't feel like you're really only proving something to yourself and maybe your wife and kids.
Yeah.
And I know that's tough, but when you've got literally a couple, 3,000-4,000 people that are hitting you up and asking you, it's a lot of fucking pressure.
Well, that's what. Yeah.
So then that builds, and you're like, man, I can't let all of them down.
Yeah. Well, I went through that
It's
when I lost
tough.
my weight. When I decided to downsize, and I call it downsizing. When I decided to downsize, I said I want to be between 182 and 188 pounds by such and such date. And there was time like she hid the fucking scale for me. People don't know this. This is actually the first time, but she hid the scale for me because it could be like that type of pressure can get to be a fucking thing where
Right.
I was like, holy fuck, like you'd hit sticking points or something like that, or I'd be bloated or whatever. Because once you get real low, like even water weight can change. And I was telling you today that for somebody your size, if you're sore, like he's sore right now, but if you're sore, there could be an extra like 2 pounds of fluid in your
Oh,
muscle.
absolutely.
In you.
And one thing, and you can tell me if I'm overstepping, I'm a big advocate, and this is just because it's the way I was trained when I was in college. Some of us big guys, it's easy to drop a fuck ton of weight in the first couple of weeks because you just got so much shit. When you cut out processed sugars and you cut out the saturated fats, and your caloric intake's half, and then you're burning, a couple thousand calories a day, it'll fall off quick. But when you hit that plateau, the worst thing for people like me with head issues and wanting to see results, if that scale says the same number for 5, 6, 7 days, I would suggest, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, a lot of you guys that are asking for, the big overweight or anybody, dude, fuck a scale. Take pictures 3 times a week. After that first month, stick them together. And the me, I'm a visual learner. Therefore, I like to see the same results visually. I wait here just to get a peace of mind.
Well, we altered so much shit. I asked you to weigh in too because I was like, we got to make. I was worried he would drop weight too fast, just to be real, because I was worried you would shed too much fluid.
I was too, and because I've been through this rodeo before. This is the first time I've been serious in 20 years. But I'm a big need to see the improvement, and that goes back to back when I was playing ball. I was one of the biggest quarterbacks ever in Division I football. And at 280, I ran a 4.9 40. At 310, I ran a 4.9 40.
Right.
So it was like, who gives a shit at my weight? I'm still performing the same, and I look better. So if I can see it and I feel better, that's my motivation. Then once I feel even better and better, then I'll weigh after another month or something. Be like, oh shit, I dropped another 20. Didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I think a visual tool is good for a lot of people.
Absolutely, visual, and I think it's especially for people that, because so many people often throw up to us, well, there's the mental aspect of weight loss, because the whole Tess Holiday fucking thing when she talked. To me, and Bull can attest to this, I feel for you. Like, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, it is a real thing. Emotional issues, different psychological issues, bipolar, borderline personality disorder. These are all issues that can lead to people being out of shape and overweight. Doesn't mean you don't have to fucking deal with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, because if you, you can't let that win no matter what. You can't let it win to the point where it affects your behavior, to the point where you get yourself in trouble, or it affects your relationships. You can't let it win to the point where it affects your health. And when people just say, well, I'm an emotional eater, therefore I'm going to be overweight, that is you letting it win.
That's the excuse. I've been there. I mean, we're all been there. And I'm not sitting here right now, the epitome of great shape, talking like I know it all. But I do know it all because I've been there.
Well, we wanted you to talk about it because, first of all, said I would. People know what that means. When I say that, that means, I'm claiming this right now. So it's a Mike Bauman thing. It's for the next thing. But he's going to be in shape because said I would. I'm not going to allow it to not happen. Crystal's, your wife, your fan base, people that follow me. We're not going to allow it to happen.
I'm stopping in Cincinnati on the way back, whatever day that is, and I just got the text. There's about 14 guys coming over. We're going to play golf, sit around, catch up. And one of the first ones in the message said something about, it's about time, haven't seen you in 19 years. The reason being, I haven't gone back to not one alumni golf outing, nothing, because I couldn't deal with it mentally to walk around all my guys that were linemen, linebackers, big guys in college that I outweigh by 80 pounds now. I'm sure there'd just be some ribbing and jabbing. They love me all the same, but it's just a mental thing, and that's something we deal with.
Yeah.
So, I said, what, fuck it, man. This is who I am. This is what I'm going through. They need to see it. And they respect it more for me being open about it and doing it because, I want to be around. That's all there is to it. So.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, back to what you were talking about, taking the pictures to help you visualize your progress. You can use that as a tool also with, like, your form for your lifts.
Absolutely.
For your yoga poses.
Mm-hmm.
You can film it, or take pictures, and then that way you can see your progress.
Absolutely.
Because, like, even with the yoga poses, you started on Monday, today's Saturday, you already notice a difference in how well you feel, and also how you're able to get into the pose more easily, and how you can get into a deeper expression of the pose. Imagine if we had a picture of Monday versus today.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? We would really be able to visualize the progress. Even though we can see it and you can feel it, it'd be really cool to have pictures of that.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, it's great too. Still shots to look at your form. Like you said, look at your form.
Yep.
I mean, it's funny, man. I'm an avid golfer. I'm not great. I'm good. I mean, decent. but I film every day, and I go home and I watch. Not because I want to see me at a golf club. I want to watch my form. I want to see what I can change. Same thing with this stuff.
Yep.
You know.
Well,
And the yoga, I had never done it, obviously, and you've heard about it for years and years. Biggest reason I was scared to get into it because it sounds too much like yogurt, and I would start, getting cravings again and shit. Nah, seriously,
that is new.
That's a new one.
Yoga, yogurt, yeah. No, seriously, it was like you said though. I had gotten so far gone, I couldn't get on the ground up and down easy enough to even want to attempt it.
Yeah.
But this is the thing: you make it as hard as you want.
Yeah.
And you know when you're cheating yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so great stretching the spine, breathing. Dude, 6 minutes? I sweat as hard doing yoga as I do in the gym for an hour and a half, Crazy.
We showed you some core stuff today, too. Her core stuff's insane. We were talking about the pictures and stuff like that. I think it's important for really, really overweight people to understand, like, you will feel almost immediately better once you start being smart about your nutrition and just being active. You will feel almost immediately better. You're going to be tired, you're going to be sore, and there's going to be some stuff that you're not going to feel great about, but give it a week. Give it 2 weeks. Like, I've said it before, like, I get it all the time. Well, I weigh 325 or 350 pounds, and I feel fine, I'm healthy, and I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm always, imagine if you lost 50 pounds, how you'd feel then. Like, nobody, like, in reality, just to be very squared away with people, I weighed 250 pounds. I could box jump 50 inches. I could military press the 120-pound dumbbells for a set of 12. I could squat 575 pounds 3 times a week in the gym, ass to grass. I was fucking an athlete. I was a serious athlete, especially for my age. I dropped 50 pounds, and I was like, holy fuck, I feel better. Like, I could not imagine...
Yeah, you didn't even realize it. Like,
no.
Before, you thought you felt great, and then you lost the weight, and you're like, now I feel great.
Yeah, now I feel good,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and to touch on that, too, you're talking about how quickly it happens. I mean, if to the ones that are asking those questions, getting started, what I need to do, I guarantee you, some of y'all listening, same as me, get up, go to the kitchen, fix a plate, and you're winded while you're fixing your food.
Yeah.
You're like, what the... I'm blown away, and just after a few days of being more and more active, you don't get winded. You do, but it takes a fuck ton longer.
Yeah.
It's like you just gotta do it. I can't say that enough.
Well, Eli, who's one of our clients, actually, wanted to ask you, as someone who was recently extremely obese, I can sympathize with the struggle. What was the cumulative moment that made you decide enough was enough? Your switch moment. I talk about the switch moment all the time.
Well, I think my switch moment, honestly, was knowing that I had a commitment to do one more tour. I was already contractually binded to this, and I've never been one to just say, okay, I'm done, walk away from it. But the more and more it got closer, I realized that I told you, I was really scared. I was like, I don't know that I can make it through this physically.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm necessarily going to die.
Well, you said you were worried about falling out.
But I was worried about just either passing out or falling out. You know, but honestly, the big moment for me was, man, just one day waking up and being like, I just want to be here for my wife and kids. I just want to be here longer. And a lot of it has to do, I don't know if this gentleman's been obese all his life or it was like me and got to a point. I mean, I fought my weight all my life, but I was always a big, tall guy. But I didn't get obese till about 5 years ago. So it's a number of things. I don't think I can really narrow it down to one. I think there was just one particular day where all of those factors finally were so much and so overwhelming that I finally said, I can't live like this anymore. Mentally, it was destroying me. And, you know, I was also in a trial period on changing medication because my bipolar stuff wasn't working. And then I became manic. Then I started just smacking people at red lights and shit, just stuff that I shouldn't be doing. And I'm like, this isn't me. What's going on?
A 300-some-pound guy, 6'4", gets out at a red light smacking, you're going to jail.
But you're right, and it's nothing. It's not. It's they're commie, funny stories to an extent. But then I look, I'm like, man, it was embarrassing. But at the same time, we're not making an excuse. I didn't feel like that was me controlling me. You know, so. That aside,
bipolar, that's to a certain degree of truth.
Correct, right. And that aside, if I had a clear, 100% non-chemically fucked up mind, I would tell him that just a lot of factors. And I just started feeling that much more down. I started disassociating myself with closer friends because I didn't want to be around them because of how I looked and how I felt, and got so far away. I was like, man, I wanted a life again.
Yeah.
And it all really just hit me one morning. And the funny thing is, as I've said it 1,000 times like anybody else, I'm going to start Monday, or I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to do this. But for some reason, this last time, when I told my wife and when I told my mom and dad, it's like they believed me. And I don't know if it was the conviction, because I can get out of you. I'm a salesman. I'm going to get out of you. But I was just telling, and I think they knew. And I knew. So, man, it's you. I think you make that decision subconsciously, and then you have to act on it.
Yeah.
So the day you say, the fact that you asked when is enough, you're there.
Yeah.
Now you just have to up here say, I already know I'm there. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge thing for people. I just think that. And that's why I talk a lot on we talk a lot about the bullshit in fitness, because that's what pisses me off. Like, people can finally get themselves at that moment, and then all of a sudden they follow the wrong person, they see the wrong thing, and it leads them down a poor path. That's one of the reasons why I get so pissed. And look at you, Vince. What's up, motherfucker? So, but I think the neat thing that you are showing, I don't even think you realize that you're showing to people. Health is pretty much everything. Here's a guy, and this is, I mean, you're not the Rolling Stones, but Jeff's a pretty well-known dude, especially in the genre he's in. He's very fucking well-known. He's one of the founders, right? And your guys' bills are paid. You have a nice life. You got a pretty wife. You got great kids. You have a grandkid and everything like that. And it's not a matter of you can still end up getting to an unhealthy state no matter how great your life is on the outside. Right. You need to choose the things that are important to get healthy. Like my defining moment was I had known fitness all my life, and when I could not walk around the mall, like I'd gotten so out of shape, and I got a bad right leg and bad lower back, and not from even from lifting. I just had this degeneration in my lower back, and I've got a really fucked up leg. I screwed my leg up when I was in high school, and I couldn't walk around the mall like with my wife. Jacob was young, I couldn't walk around the mall, and I just couldn't do anything. Went to the doctor. The doctor's like, "Well, your knee's fucked up." Right. He was like, "So you need a replacement, but you're way too young." So he was like, "You either need to lose probably 40 or 50 pounds." Or buy a cane. And I came home and I was fucked up, man. Like, I'm former national competitor in pole vault when I was younger. Fucking you name it. I'm because I genetically, the thing I think that fucked me the most, I think you had to deal with too, I wasn't just an average athlete when I was younger. I was a fucking phenomenal. I was an athlete that didn't even live up to the potential I could have had. You know what I mean? Like I could have done so much athletically when I was younger.
And you and I touched on that. I think my problem was completely opposite of you. I was blessed with all the physical skills and the size. I had the arm strength. I had the size. I could do whatever I wanted to without hitting the weight room, without doing any of that shit. And it caught me early as my freshman year in college.
Sure.
And I was there 4 weeks, and I remember calling home and saying, I'll never play. I'll never play here. Don't ever say that. I'm like, no. I wasted 3 years of high school. These guys were working.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to transfer to a smaller school in order to play at some point, which I ended up doing my junior and senior year.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you whether you have it naturally or not, it can get away from you.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, she's people don't. We write a lot of my Every Damn Day Fitness together, just so everybody knows. I just add the swear words. But I came home and I was all fucked up about it. She was like, "Well, here's the thing. You've got a son, so you can choose you can choose the example you're going to lead." But she was like, "You are either going to accept it and be okay with it, or you're going to fucking change it." But she was like, "You are not going to wallow this and show it to him." You know, so we fucking changed it. And she started very similar to what you're doing. Started me walking, started me on yoga, and that's what we did. Weight room came back later. You know,
right.
And I think that people don't get that, like, you have to find it in yourself to at least get the fuck up. And here's the thing.
That's huge.
Yeah, get the fuck up. And even if you can tell yourself that you are healthy at whatever weight you want to be at. Nobody can tell me that going for a walk with your family is a bad thing. I'm sorry. If you can find it if you can fucking warp logic enough that going for a walk, enjoying the scenery, shit. Like Jeff loves architecture.
I was just told to stand up.
Huh?
I was just told to stand up.
Sit up.
Stand up.
Oh, stand up by your watch. Oh shit.
I'm gonna wait till this is over to shut up.
But Jeff likes architecture, so you've been walking around Pittsburgh and taking pictures of all different architecture. Find something to just get you to move the fuck around.
Yeah, it can be anything, man. Yeah. There's so much stuff you can just be standing. Like I said, I mean, I'm going to incorporate the standing desk because I find myself a lot of times. Well, when I'm in the studio and I'm writing, I have to get up out of my chair, walk into the booth to record, come back. Why not just be up the entire time anyway?
Yeah.
It's like you're in there doing it. Just be up, but I can't stress that enough either. Just
the differentiation between work and rest needs to happen. Like if you're working, you should be standing. You know what I mean? Like you should be exerting.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So it's just like I've seen people, like very, very, very obese people on all these shows. You'll see them cooking food, sitting down. If you catch yourself doing that, oh, dude.
No shit.
Oh, dude.
I don't even do that. I've never heard of it.
They'll pull a stool up or chair up and cook while sitting down. First of all, dangerous as fuck. But secondly, that is like when you don't even associate.
No, I'll sit by the grill every now and
different
then.
but if you're over the stove,
yeah, that's crazy.
People will sit and cook. That means if you're taking the functionality, if you're taking the functionality of work away from even getting food and cooking food, which is why drive-thrus are so bad. Like we as a species, there was always work involved with eating. Now we've taken that away. But just like so, technically, if you stand while you work, you're technically putting the work back into getting your food because that's what pays the bills. Get your food,
And I don't want anybody to take this out of context. Like, I'm not trying to give fitness advice by any means. Like you're looking, I put a belt on with a boomerang this morning. I'm not there. I'm not giving fitness advice. So I want people to realize that I'm here to help you motivate you to get started, to be accountable. I mean, come on my page, hit me up, show me, talk me. I'm the same way. Like if you need, let's go. Everybody's in it together, man. I'm not trying to give you fitness advice because I know a lot of people would tune in and be like, What's he talking about? I'll be there because I'm not stopping.
Well, that's something you and I talked about today. I was really proud of you because you made yourself accountable. He made a post yesterday on Moccasin Creek, and I shared it. We shared it everywhere, where you're holding yourself accountable to everybody that knows you.
Right.
Like to get it done.
It's hard shit to do, man.
It is, man. It's putting yourself way out there, because especially for you, you're talking about battles with mental illness and stuff like that. It's some serious shit. But it also made me so proud because, like, you know, I love your lyrics. I think you're a fucking genius. Everybody knows that. I say it all the time. But dude, that makes you just such a better person in my eyes, because put it out there to the point where it can help so many people. Nothing pisses me off more when people have a platform to make money on, which we do. Crystal and I do.
That's all they're worried about is the money.
If you're not trying to make a difference in the lives of the people that follow you, what the fuck are you doing? Now you're fleecing them. That shit pisses me the fuck off. You know, provide good information, provide motivation, provide caring to the people that help pay your fucking bills. And it made me so proud to have your music at the front of my videos, because that's so much what I stand for. And I didn't even ask you to do it, but it's so much what we stand for. Yeah. Here, look at me. Like, I talk about it all the time. Like, the only reason why I have a platform at all is because I say the fucking truth, whether it's popular or not. You know, and sometimes shit that we say is not very fucking popular.
It's sex appeal, man. Sex sells.
Yeah, so sexy. Bald, saggy-eyed, fucked up teeth. I know, she gets so pissed when I do that shit.
It makes me so mad.
But in reality, it made me so proud of you, because you're putting yourself out there to the stage where now you're accountable to hundreds of thousands of people. You know, and that type of shit helps so many people. You know. It really, really does, and it's good for you, because now you're in it. You know?
Yeah. I've had a couple of people just inbox me and stuff, and they were asking about they either know a family member or they suffer themselves from bipolar or manic, whatever. Don't say it like that. Whatever. Just
I got you.
Yeah. Anyway, it's always been a very acceptable crutch in our community to not do anything. Well, I'm having a bad day. And I've realized over the years I've brought a lot of that shit on myself. But one of the questions was, how do you deal with that on a daily basis? Obviously, if you're legitimately, and this is a 20-something year battle, if you have a legitimate chemical imbalance or disorder, some of it does have to be treated medically. I don't want to be on any medicine whatsoever, but I also know that there are two medicines I must take to remain equal in that area. Also, though, to find somebody that has dealt with it before on a larger platform and listen to them speak. I was telling Alan, I've got a favorite podcast I listen to, a guy named Theo Vaughn. He's a comedian, but he's very, very vocal and open about his mental awareness or his mental health, as well as, he had a drug background and he's, doing wonderful now. And I watch his podcast just because I don't care who you are, if you're manic or you suffer from bipolar, you have similarities with every one of us that suffer too. Mm-hmm. So find an outlet, find somebody you can listen to and make it, they're fun. They hold each other accountable. If you've never seen, I don't know if you've watched yet either, Mauro Ranallo. He's one of the, if any of you guys are into boxing of any kind, he's called the Holyfield Tyson fight. He's one of the biggest names in boxing and MMA history as far as a ring announcer. And there's a special on him on Showtime right now called Bipolar Rock and Roller. Mm-hmm. Mauro's had a terrible bout with this for a long time. Mm-hmm. Luckily enough, I was able to be introduced to him through a mutual party, and he and I speak regularly.
Awesome.
And I never thought I would be at a point where, you got a guy that's probably one of the most recognized sports commentators of all time that suffers tremendously from the same thing, that out of the blue I can get a text at 2 a.m. that just says, "Hey man, how you doing, bro?" And I know he's not asking me. I know he's saying it because he needs to talk right then. Mm-hmm. I do it too. There's people that I know that I can send a message to and be like, "Dude, today sucked." What was it? No, I just wanted to tell you that. And that's enough. That's all I needed. Mm-hmm. Find somebody. Send me an inbox. I don't, I'm not going to shun you away because the shit sucks, man. It's tough. But you have no idea of what exercise and changing fuck exercise and eating. It's a lifestyle change for any of us if you're going to make it. You have to change your lifestyle.
Well, I mean, that's when you have mental illness, you know, just every indicator, every study, everything shows that it is directly correlated to your physical state too.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, it definitely. I mean, being overweight, especially if you become insulin resistant or leptin resistant, you're fucked. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, like if you become diabetic, you know, and also bipolar, the medications don't.
Yeah, they don't jive. You're done.
Yeah, and
Patrice O'Neal, one of my favorite comedians ever, just died a couple of years ago from complications of diabetes. It's what was listed. No, he's manic and he had issues, and the meds could never regulate. And once you let yourself get that far, that's what people just have no idea. When you let yourself go health-wise, the problems that come along with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you already have some, you know, some issues going on, some mental health, or even just emotional issues from PTSD or anything like that, your physical well-being, if you're not healthy, that's not going to fucking help you. And you know, like your mental outlook is not going to help you with that. Like, if you have a poor vision of yourself, and you already have other shit to deal with, especially for people, like a lot of times, non-combat related PTSD, which is non veteran PTSD, it comes from poor relationships, like abusive relationships, abusive parents, stuff like that. And most of the time, that stuff is the beating down of somebody's will, like the dehumanization of them to make them feel like less of a person, so they can be controlled or, you know, abused when they're younger, right? When they then get out of shape, it's even harder to deal with because they view themselves poorly, you know, and that's what that's their PTSD.
Well, in that case, that's when post-traumatic syndrome disorder, and they get to that far off, turns into that a different form of PTSD. You can completely turn it into fucking popcorn, tacos, soda, and donuts, just like that, from having post-traumatic syndrome. You know, the PTSD it's real. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's real. But when you let that take over and it becomes a health thing, and you're eating wrong, I mean, that it does. The PTSD becomes a different meaning.
Well, my view on it is that people are looking for something to make them feel better, to comfort them, because they feel such anxiety and stress, and so they're searching for something to give them some kind of comfort. And a lot of times for them that's food. And so, like, for me, like, I want to show people that you can use yoga and fitness to give you comfort, and especially yoga, trying to let go of that tension physically. It benefits you emotionally and mentally. Focusing on your breath instead of focusing on your stress can help you physically and emotionally and mentally, and that's why I wanted to create Damn Serenity, and that's why I love what we do, is because I'm trying to show people that, you know, you don't need to turn to food for comfort.
Right. Absolutely.
No, not at all. You'd be surprised at how lifestyle change, just a brisk walk can be your comfort. You know, getting down in child's pose. Man, whoever came up with the names for yoga has got to think that through. As crazy as the world is these days.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah, with all the Pedialites out there. Ain't that what they call it? Yeah. No, I'm just saying, but something like child.
There's actually a name, like a yoga name for it.
Yeah,
but when you say
so too.
Well, part of the problem with yoga is there's a lot of people that connotate because yoga used to be for. It was like a lot of people connotate a religious thing with it.
Right.
And then when you say the name for it, the name for it, they're like, they almost get this off-putting thing, right?
Yeah, well, it's in another language, and so that makes people uncomfortable because they don't understand it, and when we don't understand something, we're intimidated by it, and then we don't want to try it. So instead of using Sanskrit, I use it every once in a while. I'll throw it in, but for the most part, I use the terminology that we use in America to make it more accessible to people, so that they feel more comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, every pose, everything you've taught me this, I've just in passing and just conversation with people, I've heard the term, you know, I've heard the term cat cow. I've heard the term child. I've heard a lot of, but you just don't know what it is. But the relief can be amazing for you. I mean, breathing, stretching your spine, just it's amazing. And literally, you can be drenched with sweat. You can be completely fatigued, but you can be completely refreshed in 5 or 6 minutes. So don't give me that, I don't have time, bullshit.
That's right.
You got a 20-minute break at work every day. Get down on your desk and get in a pose,
Well, so
dude.
she actually has some stuff that you can do at your desk. Like, I mean, like with a chair and shit like that. Like, it's just the time thing bothers me because like people sometimes view this. This is not to sound off-putting to other people, but if you will never, and I learned this in the last 2 years, you will never be as busy when you run your own business. If you really want to run your own business in today's world and have it be successful, your work day is very fucking easy. Your schedule is easy. You are at work when you wake up, and you are at work until you go to fucking sleep.
Yep.
7 days a fucking week.
That's the truth.
And to find time to fit shit in, you know, if people may laugh about this, but when we most of our work is literally at a computer. We deal with clients, we deal with programs, we deal with emails, we deal with social media, we deal with all that shit. We edit, we sit in front of a camera, we do all that shit. You know, I will stop and I will. There's like in the guest room. It's not up there right now, but there's a pull-up bar. Whenever I go to the bathroom past the guest room, I normally do 5 pull-ups and I do 5 on the way out. Like, I mean, I work fitness and activity into my life, into my everyday activity, because it needs to be a part of your life. It needs to be a part of your lifestyle. That's why the standing desk and everything like that. And I just think people, I don't have time to work out. Okay, if you don't have time to pack up, go to a gym, you'll go work out, get back to the gym. If you don't have time to do that, find other ways to incorporate activity in your life. Like this.
Take out that 30 minutes a day where you're doing this.
Oh my God, yeah.
Did you see that? Cut that to 15 minutes and exercise.
Or walk while you're doing that. Carefully.
Not
on the
around
traffic. Yeah, not on the traffic.
Been there, hey, but one thing I wanted to say too. We were touching on rest and this, that, and other. One thing that a lot of us suffer from is sleep. It's very hard, especially when your mind's. A lot of them are, borderline insomnia or insomniacs dealing with it. And we know how specific REM sleep is, or, how important it is. Man, one thing I found, I started doing this about 6 months ago before I even started exercising. Get in your bed only when you're going to bed.
Yeah. Lay
down only when I stay out of my bedroom until it's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
We took the TV out of our room. Mm-hmm. You're going there. That's your rest area. Implement that into your brain. Make that part of your routine. All right, it's time to go to bed. It's whatever time you go to bed. That way, you get back there, you get settled in, 10, 20, 30 minutes, boom, you're asleep. And you know what? If I'm not asleep in a half hour, I'll get up, I'll walk around, I'll do something, and go back.
That's
and
a great tip.
Boom, I can go right back down. So I had one of my psychiatrists that taught me that years and years ago when I was really insomnia. I had real bad insomnia, and I don't deal with that much anymore. But that's because that too is routine. 95%, first off, 80% of stats are made up on the spot. Maybe it's 61. But anyway, like 95% of people, if I had to guess, routinely, you go to your bedroom in the evening, especially if you're married to your spouse, you get in bed, you talk, you laugh a little bit, you turn on TV, you watch a little. Your brain is not winding down whatsoever. You got 37 things going on right now. Make that your place where you go rest.
Yeah, that's something that I think we're working on. We keep talking about, like, one of the things I would love to do, and we're not there yet because the business is growing at such a great rate. But one of the things we want to do is, I don't want to take my phone in the bedroom with me.
Yep.
I want to get an alarm clock and set the alarm when I want to get up, and hi baby, and I don't want to have my phone with me because phones work for people like us, But it's a very good point. We keep having the people ask. For us super overweight people, that's a great start. Make sure you're getting the rest you need. Don't take it to the extent where I really feel tired, I need 12 hours of sleep. because you could wake up and you could wake up and get an hour worth of workout if you sleep 12 hours.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, no doubt.
I always find that too. Like I need about 9 hours.
9?
Some people.
Man, I ain't had 9 hours of sleep. Woo. Yeah, I have. Bad circumstances. Nah, yeah, man. Again, it's I can't reiterate the fact of how this routine. And I know it sounds terrible. I mean, it's not. You don't want to institutionalize yourself, but at the same time, I mean, I'm just speaking from me, and I think a lot of these people are the same way. You gotta have. I was telling you, when I first started getting active again, I was happy with myself because I was getting up. I was getting the earliest tee time they would give me, like 7:15. I'd go out and play 18 holes. I was back at my house by 9:30 every morning. I'm like, damn, I got the rest of this whole day, and I've already done my little exercise. And that's where it stopped because I was telling myself, okay, that's my exercise. I'm done. Sit down. Got up the next morning and did it. Nothing. So finding that, granted, I understand most people work during the day, different hours. So that's one thing Alan and I and Crystal as well, we've talked about scheduling. When I get up in the morning, first thing is I'll play my golf. When I get done, I'll eat my breakfast. Get done, I'm to the gym. Get done, then I've got my 3 to 4 hours I dedicate toward what I have to do with my business, with my writing, with whatever I have to do music-wise. And then I'll take my leisurely walk after that, get a little cool down. Then by that time, it's dinner time. And guess what? Your day's over. You can spend it with your family, and it's eating up.
Yeah.
Idle time will kill you.
Yeah, idle time's horrible.
It's terrible for, I hate to use the term, I say normal people because we're fucked up, but idle time is 10 times worse on somebody that deals with any sort of anxiety,
you don't want to overthink shit.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And just being busy and being active and finding the little things to do has just changed immensely.
Well,
and there's something that everybody can do. I mean, I don't want to tell people to go out and do just random crazy shit, but not like go buy a puppy. If you have a dog, walk it more.
Yeah.
If you have, the little things. Look around your environment. Look around your house. There's probably 1,000 different ways you can exercise. You don't even know that you're exercising.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, that's why we don't even often refer to it even to our clients as exercise. We call it activity. Like,
right.
How was your
activity.
Yeah.
It can be as little for the first gentleman. It's like I'm so overweight. If you want to be active, first thing like tomorrow, don't put your dishes in the dishwasher. Wash it by hand. 10 minutes, bro.
Yeah, great thing.
It's not like you're getting a workout, but one of my worst problems is, back in being taller, we don't have the money to raise all our countertops 6 inches in the house like a lot of tall people do. So if I'm standing over a stove for 15, 20 minutes, man, I get the worst pain of it just because of that angle. Mm-hmm. And it kills me. But by being in there more and just hand wash, doing things, you're just being on your feet, It's stop taking the easy. Now, granted, I'm going to put everything in the dishes, the dishwasher after, Thanksgiving Day or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you get done, just stand there, do your dishes, stand up, whatever. Be on your feet, and that's what the first thing we implemented when we got here. It's like, I came in the first day out of the gym and sit down, and Alan was like, "I want you to stand." I went, "The fuck?" And since then, I've caught myself, like, even when I'm in my hotel room or when I'm not sitting down unless I'm literally either writing or typing something, and then I just get right back up and move. And
if you're, like, for those of you that are watching, 9 times out of 10, you're watching this on a phone or something like that, or listening on a phone. If you're on social media, stand and walk when you're on social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, little shit like that,
Absolutely. So, but no, I mean, reiterate the fact that, if you find it inspiring at all, or you need any questions at all, I don't hesitate to send me any questions on anything as far as mental health, mental disorder, granted, I may not have the right answers, but I'm going to tell you how I deal with it. and it may not be the same. I've got people give me 1,000 different suggestions that didn't work.
Right.
Everything's different from everybody.
But you need to keep trying those.
Being able to even talk about it. All these people that have commented, man, I suffer from it too. The fact that you even put that out there is the first step.
Yeah, I was blown away, dude. With his post, you probably had like 60 responses. Like, I suffer from bipolar too. I was blown away by it.
And I had and I told them yesterday, but I had and I can't say it because she's not at that point yet. She's not ready. But a very pretty big name in the music business hit me up yesterday, and we talked for a long time because of me putting it out there made her feel more comfortable with what she's been through, what she still has it, and I'm that makes me happy because I know it won't be long before she's able to speak about it, and then that's going to help all those people that may not know me but that know her.
Yeah.
It's a snowball effect, man, and we're never going to clean the world up. The world's way, but for everything we can do little by little, we can have good circles, man.
Well, I mean, I think the conversation needs to be had. That's the thing. Like, too many people don't want to have the conversation with the correlation of the link between mental health and physical health. And too many people don't want to have that conversation, and too many people.
You know why a lot of us don't want to have it is because, like anything else on the planet, there's a lot of piece of shit ass people out there that want people to feel sorry for them, so they throw up their own label on them. Yeah. Until you've been through it and the blood work and until you are a legitimate. Now, I'm not saying you can be depressed. Well, I mean, anybody can be depressed, but I hate when people throw around terms. I've got this. You see the kids in elementary and middle school now. Well, I think I have ADHD. I think I have this because the parents talk about us. There's a crutch for everything. That's why a lot of it doesn't get talked about by us that really, really suffer because it's been abused so much and laughed at and taken out of context by so many people that claim they deal with it too. Now, I'm not knocking it. I know there's millions of people that deal with it.
Yeah.
But if I find out it's not legit and you're using it for, I'm probably going to slap the shit out of you.
Well, I would agree with that. Shit like that pisses me off.
Right.
You know, like
it's like the GoFundMes that people start for,
stupid
just
shit.
Because.
But it's like there's
do something.
There's certain things, like there are certain physiological disorders that cause people to actually have a harder time losing weight. And one of them is PCOS. It's polycystic ovarian syndrome, right? And a lot of women have it. It causes them to have extra androgen levels. They develop fat like they would hold fat like we'd hold fat, like in the front, or like that, instead of like in the thighs and the ass, like women do. And I can't tell you how many comment. Well, I have PCOS and I can't lose weight at all. First of all, you can still lose weight, but secondly, do you really have it? Because it's something like 5% of women have it.
Very uncommon.
It's like 5 to 10% of women, which
It's
is crazy.
legitimate.
Yeah, but with so many people that are overweight and everything like that, it's not. It's just something that people put out there. Well, I have a slow metabolism. Okay, that pisses them off even more because some people, like women that have PCOS that really do suffer, when you just say I have a slow metabolism, no motherfucker, you're just lazy. Like that. Some people have slow metabolism for certain things, but I totally get what you're saying. It's like it's these people use the labels that they hear as an excuse. If you are truly bipolar, make sure if you think you are, go to a doctor. Get checked out, because if you don't, you could endanger yourself and loved ones and everything like that. It is not a way to live. It can be regulated. You can have a great life, but you need to make sure you actually get diagnosed if you think you are. They could find something else, but don't just say you are or think you. If somebody saying I think I'm bipolar is such a slap in the face to people like you.
I have SFF-MTL. A lot of people don't know. You probably.
I don't even know what the fuck.
Yeah, felt sorry for myself too long. It's like that's what a lot of us suffer from.
Yeah.
You just feel sorry for yourself. It's because you got yourself. You just gotta fucking do it, man.
Yeah.
Stop labeling yourself with everything. The only reason I speak about it is because I know so many people suffer from it. And if I can change my life and my look and everything, and it just helps one person, that's enough for me.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'd like to help 2. Hell, I'd like to help 3 or 4, and they might buy a CD or 2. But,
I'm sure they fucking will. Man.
Just saying. But nah, man, it's just anybody can do it. You just gotta want to do it. Now, again, I'm an open book. If I don't respond within a day or two, it's not you. I will get back to you. I promise you.
But don't ask stupid shit like, can you write a song?
Oh yeah, wait,
about this?
Stupid shit gets stupid answers. That's just it's just life in general. But so
Well, hey man, I wanted to
I'm
thank you.
stoked, man. Oh shit, thank y'all. Yeah, I can't thank y'all enough. This man been whipping me up breakfast every morning, some protein pancakes and eggs and shoot sushi in it up. Oh man,
Good, so you can eat good.
Yeah, you can
You just
eat.
eat smart.
That's
you
the
know?
thing. You can eat good, and I would suggest to the ones that I got another question about the food. Write down everything that you love to eat. Just like you said, that you love to eat, and then write down the things that you can't eat. Not can't like. For me, it's, I can't eat chunk tomatoes because I'm gonna blow chunks. It's just like there's just certain things, and I've tried years. Tomatoes, avocado, and celery. 3 things I can't eat. I just try it all.
Celery, really?
You know, and I think that's a texture thing more than anything. I don't know because there isn't really no
She
flavor.
can't eat cucumber.
Yeah, cucumbers
Because
I
they're
can eat them.
disgusting.
I can eat cucumbers, but they're called pickles. You know what I'm
I
saying?
eat pickles.
But even if there's only there's picky ass eaters, and if you were the pickiest eater on the planet, if you wrote down all the foods you love, there may only be 12 to 13 on. I guarantee you 4 or 5 of them are okay. You know what I'm saying? You'll find the things you like. And just make it routine, and you wouldn't believe how easy it is to eat because there's so much good shit out there for
Well, that's
you.
something that I think it's convoluted in the fitness realm. We talk about this. Chris and I talk about this all the time. Like, oftentimes people are like, well, can you take a picture of everything you eat? You're not going to eat like me. My world's different.
Everybody's
Yeah,
different.
you know, like-
and another thing too that kills me, and I hate to cut you off, just because this got my mind working, and I want to ask you, real quick, dude, every 3 minutes there's a new diet fad.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Look, man, them shits are just. Yeah, you might go out and drop a lot of weight on the South Beach for like 60 days, or you might want to. It's coming back.
Yeah, that's if
You have to change your lifestyle, bro.
I eat like, and it's weird, but like I eat the things I love to eat. Like I eat tuna with mustard, chickpeas. I eat a lot of fish because I love fish. I'll have rice. I love rice. Occasionally I'll have some potatoes, sweet potatoes. It's all stuff I love to eat. Now, don't get me wrong. I love to eat. I love candy and I love shit. And I'll have some M&Ms when I'm over at my mom's house every fucking time. I like whiskey. I'll have a glass of whiskey, once every couple weeks or something like that. It's a matter of moderation, and I also make sure I'm extremely active. I mean, every damn day is not a phrase. It's what we fucking do. Like, I mean,
It's gotta be.
it really is. It's what we fucking do. And
I may add that to the ink regiment here soon.
fuck you, motherfucker.
I'm just saying. But I got a back that needs some filling in.
Well, I'm getting all mine redone soon too. So, but in reality, it's you stick to a lifestyle that you can sustain. If you find yourself buying a product like this, and this is a whole video that I haven't made. If you're going to be keto. I don't give a fuck. Just realize it needs to be a sustainable lifestyle. That'll help sustain you.
Right.
But eat actual food as much as you fucking can. And eat it responsibly. Like,
Yeah, I probably said that wrong. I'm not saying none of them work and none of them are.
they don't work in the long run.
Right. Exactly.
You need to build a lifestyle. What you're going to eat? Are you telling me, like, if you're a keto person, are you telling me you're never going to eat your mama's birthday cake? Like,
Ever.
I mean, like, if my mother made me a cake at her age of 75, if she baked me a cake,
You're eating it in front of her.
I don't give a fuck what she made it from.
You're eating it in front of her.
Yeah, like the thing is, we lead these lives. The things you don't need to eat. You don't need McDonald's. You don't need Burger King. You don't need the extraneous things that are just designed for you to be convenient. Cook good food at home. We made poke bowls like at home the other night. You were at the hotel. But we made poke bowls. Delicious fucking food. Like it costs
So good.
a fraction of the cost of what it would cost in a restaurant.
And that's another thing too. Is a lot of people say, man, eating healthy is so expensive. It can be,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to be.
No.
Like you have no idea.
A 25-pound bag of dry rice at Costco is like $13.
Bro, a full whole chicken is $4.79. It's 4 hours in a crock pot, nothing on it, and that's dinner, and then it's pulled, and that goes in my egg white omelet the next morning.
Yeah.
I've just had 2 big meals for $5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It's like,
yeah.
it doesn't have to be.
No.
Yeah, if you're going out and trying to buy all organic kale and all organic this, that, and that, do what you do. That's fine.
One of the things that's super expensive, juicing. What the fuck's wrong with you people? Like, don't get me wrong, I like...
I tried that shit for...
Well, part of the problem is people juice orange juices, or oranges, and orange juice is sugar water.
Oh, absolutely.
People don't understand that. It's sugar. But not only that, but like, unless, like, when we lived in the country, we would juice tomatoes. Because we could get tomatoes for like fucking 15 cents a pound.
Yeah,
we lived in the fucking country. I love tomato juice. I would make our own sauces, everything like that. That's when it gets to be okay. But when you're just when you're buying like cantaloupe, and you need cantaloupe juice, it's like
really?
that is like a $5 glass of sugar water. I don't understand. I just don't get it.
I mean, I love apples. I love it's the same thing. You put an apple in a juicer, you get this much juice. You're spending,
and it's all sugar.
I know it's terrible. That's what I'm saying. But you're basically having to put a whole $23 sack of Granny Smiths in a blender to get a 6-ounce drink.
Yeah.
Like, dude, anyway,
crazy shit. But no, I mean, diets. We don't ever talk about diets with our clients. It's nutrition. Like, what's your nutrition like?
There you
go. We give them nutritional goals. We give them, lifestyle choices. We talk about reward meals. Like, if you know you're gonna go take your wife out to a great fucking dinner, or and it's gonna be an indulgent dinner, mm-hmm. right? Reward yourself with it. Go some get an extra walk in for 2 days. Mm-hmm. Do a couple hundred calories less each day, and then do a couple hundred calories, get an extra walk in the day after. Then you can afford it. I mean, it's a reward. You've rewarded yourself with the effort.
I like what you just said about that. With saying nutrition instead of diet. I think if all of us that are starting this journey or been on it for a little while and trying to get terminology needs to be universal in a positive manner, because people hear the word diet and they get scared. It's me too. I mean, anybody. But when you say, "Hey, man, we want to have you eating better. We want your nutrition to be right." Mm-hmm. That sounds so much better than diet. Absolutely. Hey, we're not going to work out, man. We're going in to exercise and be active.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're not going in to throw around heavy weight. We're going in to move and get your shoulders bulked up. I mean.
Well, I'm big on that. Like, I've had many videos recently where I talk about that. Like, the chasing of weight on a bar is not actually a healthy endeavor. Like, I know where one of my 1 rep maxes is right now. That's about it. Because it's a deadlift, I can just let go of the fucking bar. Right.
A lot of them aren't safe.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you're really pushing heavy weight, you got to think what for. If I was still thinking about being a powerlifter, that's different. I need to know what they are. But there's no fucking like if you're out there and you're worth like guy, girl, anything like that, especially if you're overweight, who gives a fuck how much you lift? Like, who gives a fuck? Because you're looking for a 3 max total. Your 3 max total that you're never going to step on a platform for. It's never going to make you a fucking dollar. It's never going to be out of that. Is you're taking the opportunity to get injured and then be out of shape. Who fucking cares?
Anything.
Just if I can deliver one message, I deliver this all the time. If you want to have kids, have kids. If even if you're somebody that doesn't want to have kids or anything like that, you have somebody in your life that you want to be with, that you want to be around. Want to be around them for as great a quality and as long as you can. Like, I decided, like, we don't even have grandkids. I was worried I was going to be able to dance with my grandkids at their wedding. Mm-hmm. That to me is like I almost just teared up talking about that.
Oh, yeah, it's tough.
I wasn't. My son's not biologically mine, so I'm lucky enough to have chosen to be a father, and it's the best gift anybody ever gave to me, and I will not be robbed of stuff like that with my grandkids, and I will not be robbed of things like that, of something that I thought was never going to happen in my life. I will not be robbed of it, and I will definitely not be robbed of it by my fucking self.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the thing. Like, people need to understand, like, and I say this all the time, fitness is not a sprint. It is a marathon. It is a long-ass fucking time, and fitness will leave you. You do not own it. You need to pay the rent every damn day.
Oh, fitness is like a cat. Yeah. It's just allowing you to be a part of it. Because it's always going to be there. Right. It's like cats. We don't tame them, man. They let us live in their space. That's what,
I was getting the cat hair off her. I wasn't grabbing her boobs on. That's later.
Man.
But man, I wanted to thank you for being on. I think we've been on for a little over an hour. Dude,
we're and I'll get you guys to be one of my first guests when the Shooting the Bull podcast takes off here in a few weeks, and we're gonna have some. Fuck, I wasn't even supposed to mention that.
Well, you mentioned
Guess
that.
what?
I'm like, all it is like, what?
We've talked about it, and hinted around about it. I never knew what a podcast was till about a year ago, and I got addicted to them. And I really think they're going to take over sitcom TV.
Oh yeah.
And let me tell you what, because first off, people's attention spans anymore. You don't watch a TV show. They got built-in laugh tracks. You get lots. Look, a podcast. As long as it's not just a sit-down interview and it's just people that are talking, shooting the shit, they're funny, there's comical, there's real-life stuff. You don't have to pay attention to watching everything. You can listen to it. And people, it's no different than a sitcom. You're just not watching it. Yeah. You got serious TV shows, you got comical.
Keep doing that.
But I fell in love with it. And I think for me, it's therapy, for one, getting to talk about it. Two, I've been lucky enough to really have some cool people that are going to be on the pod. I mean, there's going to be some really, really big names and cool shit, which is fun. But I don't know, man. I'm stoked about it, and I definitely got to get y'all on as soon as it starts, because I've been talking about it for a long time, and now that I'm finally in a good headspace, you know, and a good routine. That's next on the agenda.
Well, just like I always, this is something that I normally. But for you, we want to keep you. You want to keep your mind engaged. Keep you active. Sure. Idle time is your fucking enemy. Yeah, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
You know? I think that's for people that are super creative, because you write some super creative lyrics. Like, by the way,
I probably stole those.
By the way, all you young motherfuckers in the hip hop or country rap genre, be creative. And if you're gonna borrow a line, fucking pay homage, motherfuckers. I see it, and I'm being polite up until now. You've been served notice. So, but because I have this thing that's even a hashtag. Don't fuck with my friends. And I'll be at a lot of your events soon, motherfuckers. So, dude, we will definitely love to be on. We're gonna be down there a couple weeks anyway, but definitely love to be on.
Set up by then.
Well, if not, we'll come back down. Fuck it. We love the area. So.
No doubt.
But I wanted to thank my lovely wife for being here. Awesome Sauce, thank you for joining us, honey.
Yeah. Spoiled ass cat. My bad. You want some more?
And thank all you motherfuckers for tuning in to another episode of the In My Opinion, of course, podcast. I appreciate it. Goddamn.